Hey, good evening, everybody. Dirk Delirium, Delirium Dirk, depending on which Facebook page you go to. Welcome back. This is going to be the second step of our 12-step series we're doing for the YouTube channel. Now, obviously, the channel is called Scared Sober Delirium Tremens. The whole platform is based on real delirium tremens, which I hope nobody experiences, but obviously from your feedback, a lot of you have, and hopefully that saves some lives. But as we were thinking about it, a lot of people are scared of the steps, depending on what program of recovery you're in. I don't have any prejudice towards any program. I'm not the face of AA, NA, CA, HA, or NEA. I'm simply a face of recovery. It does work. Now, the program I choose to follow comes out of a certain blue book, and those are the 12 steps that I followed. And incidentally, until I did that, I could never stop drinking and using. I just couldn't. I tried every single thing that I could do on my own, and I failed every single time. Whether I failed that day, the next week, a month later, or even 3.5 years later. I did that twice. I always went back out and drank and used, and was immediately as fucked up as I was when I quit. The consequences became as bad or worse within days and literally days as they had been when I stopped. So the fact that they say it's a progressive illness, I believe that 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about step 2. We've already talked about step 1, and again, I'm going to take it out of the particular book that I follow. And what is step 2? Again, a lot of people work the steps and just say, especially 1, 2, and 3, they're going to say, okay, I admit I'm powerless over addiction. My life is unmanageable. Okay, I'm going to believe a power that's greater than myself can restore me to sanity, and I'm going to make a decision to turn my will and my life over to a care of power, or a higher power, and to the care of God as I understand Him. So I'm done. So that's it. But that's not the way that I worked it with my sponsor when it was finally effective, and that's just me. There's no right or wrong answer. It's not a test. Nobody gets an A or an F or anything in between. But this is what I did. So this just familiarizes y'all, if you either haven't gone through the steps or you've been scared to. It's really easy. It really, really is. So step 2, made a decision to turn came to believe rather that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. All right, so the first thing I did was I was asked 3 questions. Actually 2 questions in this case, rather. First, what's my definition of insanity? What do I consider insane other than my entire lifestyle when I was using and drinking? And then I was asked to list 10 examples of insanity in my life. So that's what step 2 involved as far as the pencil to paper work, which I then shared with my sponsor, and that's what we did. So we're going to start with what insane is. In my little book, it's mentioned 12 times in the first 164 pages. It means mentally ill, of unsound mind, senseless, or extreme foolishness. I definitely gravitated towards extreme foolishness, which was followed by unsound mind, senselessness, and bottom line is mentally ill, because normal people don't behave the way we do, or at least I did when drinking and using. The second definition I listed, that was insane. I listed insanity. Again, that's stated 15 times in the first 164 pages, and that means extreme senselessness or foolishness, guilty, delusion, delirium, or irrationality. It implies mental disorder in someone who formerly had mental health, meaning I make poor decisions when I'm using that I normally wouldn't make. Lunacy is period spells of insanity, and madness is the violent side of mental illness. And madness is exactly what happens with me. I get very angry, I get very vocal, I become a real asshole. And I believe that to be true. So what is my definition of insanity? This is my own personal. Yours can be whatever it is. So again, no right or wrong. Insanity is, in my opinion, the sole reason I continue to drink again and again, despite all my ever continuing past problems. Even though I know Without a doubt, any problem I may have will only be compounded and made worse by taking that first drink, first drug. And by the way, I capitalized that, first drink. This is how it starts. If I don't touch the first one, I'm good, because I know where it's going to lead every single time. It goes on to say that first drink is what perpetuates this ongoing insanity. This insanity occurs in the way or manner in which I twist my thinking to justify my decision to drink or use, despite overwhelming evidence by both myself and countless others that my decision is severely flawed. This is a very poor idea, and I know that, but I'll do it anyway. And that's the strange mental twist. This is the very thinking that always precedes a relapse. The book, this one, even states that we forget the terrible results that happened a week or even a month ago. This strange mental twist in which I convince myself that this time it'll be different. Through this overwhelming thought, even though I try to believe this overwhelming thought that it's going to be different this time, I know deep down inside that it's going to be as bad or worse as the last time if I take the first drink or drug. And I have proven that. I have never slipped back into my alcoholism by any sane means. So, given my insane mentality, I will always be defenseless against the first drink. Only will my higher power, my God of my understanding, save my ass for my own thinking. And that's my definition of insanity. Another one that I jotted in my book, because we've all heard the same thing, you know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I wrote, and I like this one, where is it? When we are alcoholic, bear with me here, please. Yeah, we all do things we regret. When we're alcoholic, we just keep doing them over and over again. So it's one and the same. So anyway, back to 10 examples of insanity. And again, this is just in my life, me personally. We're all different, but they're pretty all parallel from what I've heard of my sponsees. First one, insanity. Believing it will be different this time. Believing it. Believing I can control it. And it never worked out that way. Second example of insanity in my life, believing I can stop on my own willpower. Again, severely flawed, and it never, ever worked. But I tried again and again and again for decades. The third example is that I am only hurting myself. That's bullshit. That is insane thinking, period, because it hurts my family, it hurts my loved ones, those close around me, my child. Not to mention every single person I come in contact with throughout the course of my day. Because no matter what, when I was drinking and using, if I met you for 5 seconds or 5 years, I would do everything within my power to fuck your life up for that brief moment that I met you. It's just the way it was, and it was insane. I don't have to live that way. My fourth example is believing that I can control it, and believing that I can control it. It goes right there with believing it will be different this time. It's insane. I'm going to end up in a hospital. I'm going to end up in a detox. I'm going to end up in jail. And those are all three if I'm lucky. I'm going to go into DTs, and I'm going to die. There's no question in my mind that this is life or death for this alcohol, for this addict. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. My fifth example is promising that I will quit, believing it, and then drinking and using again. You know, writing in the back of the Bible, I promise I'll quit, blah, 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 swearing over and over again. And then, you know, once things smooth out, whether that's a couple hours later or a couple weeks later, things will be different this time. And they never are. Believing I can stop after a few. I'll only smoke a joint. You know, I'll only have 5 beers, and I really will stop. Well, now I've had 5, and everything everybody's told me in any recovery program, I've already screwed it up, so fuck it. I'm gonna go big. That's my mentality. That's my insane thinking, and it wins when I let it. Every time. Driving drunk. If that's not insane, I don't know what is. I was responsible for covering large areas of this country, and I drove hundreds of thousands of miles drunk, and I'm not proud of it. And I never killed anybody. And I never killed myself. And I don't know how. But I guarantee myself, if I continue in that course of life, if you play by the fire, you're going to get burned. It is just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Thinking no one will know. There's number 7. Everybody knows. It goes right hand in hand with 8. Thinking no one can smell it. If I drink or use, if I smoke a joint and put some cologne on and think nobody's going to smell it, if I shoot some Dilaudid and think you're not going to look in my eyes and see my pupils the size of saucers, who am I bullshitting other than myself? And if I drink alcohol, I am sweating it out of my pores and I reek like a distillery. And that's a fact. But I'll say, oh, nobody will know this time. I'll take a shower, I'll put deodorant on, I'll say, yeah, I'm right. And then this shows exactly how selfish I am, because when I wrote this and I left it, putting my life in danger countless times. And then I put in parentheses, others too. It should have been putting others' lives in danger countless times and myself. But no, that's not how this addict and alcoholic thinks. I'm only concerned about me. And that's still something I have to keep in check. So when I say put myself in danger, I'm not just talking about jumping behind the wheel and possibly hitting a busload of nuns with babies on their laps. I'm talking about the neighborhoods that I wandered through at 3 in the morning where I should have been killed. I'm talking about the breaking and entering and theft and trespass and breaking laws that exist for a reason. And we do it without contempt. I'm not going to get caught. But I know why I'm doing it, because I need to get what I want, so I'm going to do it, and that's insane, because once again, it just comes back to bite me. The last one, this is kind of funny, and I am going to share it. I wrote as an actual personal example. In 1989, I climbed on an airplane completely intoxicated, without knowing where it was even going. And this is true. We walked into the airport. This was pre 9/11. You could walk past security, go through security and go right to the terminal. And I jumped in a wheelchair. I don't even know why we were there. It was 10 o'clock at night, and we just ended up there. My buddy started pushing me in a wheelchair, and we passed through security, and there was a plane that was just happened to be boarding. It was close to a red eye, and I was like, I didn't even have to say it to my buddy. He was my drinking buddy. We were on the same page, and he pushed me right up into the line. The young lady taking the tickets opened the gate and let us push on through with no ticket, without a dime in my pocket. And to this day, I don't know where the plane was even going. And not only did I get on that plane, but I sat down in first class because I wanted the free drinks. And my plan was to stay there if there was a layover, not to move, and take it as far as that fucking thing was going to go. And I would have. They shut the door, they backed the tunnel up, and the stewardess came and asked me for my ticket. And I played real dumb, and it's embarrassing, but I did, and she finally got frustrated and left, and then the next thing I knew, the tunnel came back. The door opened up, thank God, and my buddy Mike came pushing the wheelchair back onto the plane, to which I climbed back in and left. No security, no police, no nothing, no shit. That's insane. That's crazy. And why did we do it? Because it was Tuesday. There was no plan. This was not premeditated. This was just the life in a day in 1989, and that's crazy shit. I don't miss that stuff. It is funny. I have a lot of funny comical examples, but I have a lot of tragic ones too, and the tragic ones far outweigh the good. So anyway, are my 10 examples of insanity in my life, and my definition of insanity, personal, and the definition out of the Little Big Book Dictionary of insanity and insane. And that was what I was asked by my sponsor to do. So I completed that, shared it with him, and guess what? Said the Serenity Prayer in the beginning, gave me a hug at the end, and we were on to step 3. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of examining my life, the choices and decisions I've made, and putting it down on paper. That being said, we're going to move right into step 3, and we will shoot that later this week. Just a couple things. We do have our Facebook group, which I know a lot of people are a part of. It's pretty strong. If you search in Facebook under groups, search Alcoholics/Addicts Living Recovery. That's us, and it's open to the public. You're welcome to join. I post every morning along with a lot of other people. I always post 2 things I'm grateful for. It's just what I do. And that's something my sponsees and I do with each other every day. It just keeps us grounded, and it works. It's really cool. So we'd love to have you there. And also on Facebook, you can reach me at Dirk Delirium, preferably, or Delirium Dirk, either one. And you can connect with me if you are a newcomer, if you're having issues, I've had a lot of people send me their number in private. I've had a lot of discussions one-on-one with people, and a lot of people have actually gone into e-taxis and started this journey. And that's super, super cool, because you don't have to be here in Charlotte, North Carolina to do it. You don't even have to be in the United States of America. So that's a hello to my guy in Brazil. Keep doing what you're doing. That being said, we appreciate you being here. I appreciate my sobriety, and I've said it a million times, so I'm going to say it one more time. If I can do it, anybody can. Anybody can. So work the steps, don't be afraid of them, and we'll continue this all the way through step 12. So if you have an interest, we'll see you back soon. Appreciate your time and have a great day.